you mentioned burpees. Like that is one of your strengths for sure. Like what the times you put in the Elite 15 races is very impressive. So give us some tips.
Hamstrings. So make sure you have decent hamstring mobility, because when you're jumping in, you can then just like pop in without bending your knees. And it saves you. Some people, if they don't have that, they'll almost be doing a squat standing up as they come in. They'll sort of come
Hmm.
in and then stand up. So having really good hamstring mobility. And also when you're coming down to the floor, a lot of upper body strength. So I started doing burpees with my leg injury before I was doing squats and lunges, because actually I use a lot of upper body. I don't really use my legs at all, apart from when I'm jumping, obviously. So press ups, chest press, anything, because you're doing that a lot and having that pop. So get down as fast as you can. So when people try and control it, when we're not there to sort of technique on the burpee of controlling it, just get down and then get back up. I used to find I never thought about 80 meters of burpee broad jumps, because 80 sounds like a massive number, right? I would know roughly how many burpees I want to do per length. I would focus on my jump, trying to jump that like even that much further each time would then save me 2 to 3 burpees. I then play games in my head, so I might do 5 jump in, then 5 where I step in. And I don't know why, but playing games in my head like that, before I know it, I've done 15 and you're pretty much halfway there. So I think maybe learn how many burpees you do, and that then feels a lot more manageable than thinking about, oh, I've got 18 meters. Get your chest strong, get your core strong, and have really mobile hamstrings, and then practice your jumping. There are different types of burpees. So burpee to plate, burpee box jump, devil press, normal burpees, box jumps, single leg jumps. Yeah.
Do you mentioned the hamstring mobility? Do you like work on that? Is that something you consciously work on?
I'm very lucky. I'm quite flexible. So I've never really had an issue with mobility. If anything, I'm probably slightly hypermobile. So it's something I've had to watch sort of with. So when I play golf, like my elbow would want to come through there and I have to make sure it's there. So I do stretch and I do mobility, but I've never struggled with mobility. So I guess I'm quite lucky in that respect.
Okay. And then you mentioned like trying to jump further per jump, which makes sense, but at the same time, like uh I think sometimes some people like try and jump less, do more reps, but not jump so far. But do you find like the opposite? You'd rather do less reps and bigger jumps?
I would rather jump slightly more and do less reps. And
Okay.
the lines that they use, obviously, for judging and guidelines and things, I would take a reference point. Obviously, when your hands go down, I'll always be looking to where I want to try and jump to.
Okay. And do you know, I'm guessing you do know because you'd have talked about this with Anthony, no doubt. But like, how many reps do you do over the 80 meters? Is it like 40?
No, I think I do. Oh, I need to double check, but I think 36,
Okay.
sometimes a bit less.
Okay. Do you know? I know you're part of the hybrid engine, and like Lauren Weeks is in there, Lauren Griffith. Do you know how like is 36? Do you know how that compares to them two, for example?
No,
No.
I think we all roughly jump around the same. Because when I was watching Hamburg, I I was watching sort of everyone's jumps, and I think a lot of the girls are jumping a little bit further now.
Okay. Okay. All right. Nice. Um, aside from just burpees, in terms of your training and like your improvement in performances, really over the past whatever 18 months or so, um, is there one or two factors that you put that down to more than anything? Like, is it training volume? Is it the style of the running training that you've been doing? Anything in particular?
Running thresholds
Hmm.
really changed my running times. They came down, and obviously they don't need to come down massively. You can come down by 5 seconds each kilometer. You're running 8 times, so that helps hugely. It's a running race really with bits in between. So And I think I was then, because I was stronger in my running, I was then going in and out of stations quicker and coming out of the station feeling fresher and being able to get back into my running rhythm quicker. So I think that really helped. I got stronger in my legs. So I mean, I'm quite little, so the sleds and things like that where mass moves mass is always going to be harder. I only weigh like 52 kilos. So sometimes that the sled feels quite heavy to me. And I think getting stronger obviously helped and helped my legs feel fresher when I was coming out of the sleds. And I didn't feel like I was sort of hobbling out of the sleds. I felt like I could run out of them. So I think working on my strength, but I think mainly running thresholds and knowing my threshold properly as well. So taking the data and actually not just going, I think it's around here, knowing sort of roughly where my threshold was and understanding that feeling of when you go over your threshold. I can feel that slightly now. And there's days where obviously your threshold does change week to week. I'd only test it every sort of 3 to 4 months. But I think you start to get more of an understanding of what it feels like when you're in the wrong zone.
Hmm. Okay. And that like you said, like one of the major changes is running thresholds. So that was spending more time at threshold in the week. So now maybe you're doing a couple of sessions at threshold, whereas before, and tell me if I'm wrong, like maybe it was more like zone 2 and then faster paced stuff like beyond threshold. Is that how it looked before?
Yeah, and I didn't do much zone like, that's the other thing that changed was my almost my aerobic zone 2, like my base. I didn't do hardly any of that 3, 4 years ago, and that just gave me such a nice base to work from, and you realize how important that is just as well as hitting the other end, is to have the base there. Because if you don't have the base, you know, where what foundations are you working off of? And I think sometimes in my head, I was pushing myself too hard too much of the time, and I got told to just rein it back a little bit. And then weirdly, I started going faster. So it felt quite counterintuitive, but it seemed to work.